The plot thickens in the Harry Kane situation. This is what he's said recently. While I won't go into the specifics on the situation, I want to clarify that I would never and have never refused to train. I will be returning to the club tomorrow, Saturday, as planned. So this is a bit of a change that we're seeing here with this situation. Jules, what's happened? Do you believe him?
Well, I believe that he was due to report on Monday. I know his statement says differently, but he also said, I don't want to go into details here. They were expecting him on Monday. He had, as you do on your first day when you come back from holidays, the boys will tell you that you have to go through a lot of fitness tests, and you do a lot of things. You don't go straight into training with the ball, and that's what he was supposed to do on Monday. The fact that he was not there, he didn't turn up, he's going to get fined for it. You don't get fined if you haven't made a mistake, so it's as simple as that. I can understand his point of view now, and clearly the anger from the fans have got to him, and he felt that he had to do something, say something. But the fact is, he was due back on Monday. He wasn't. He will only come back on Saturday, which is 5 days later, and that's just a mistake. That's not what he was supposed to do. So he can come up with any statement that he wants. He was due on Monday. He's only reporting on Saturday, and that's where the issue is.
Jules said, Jurgen, that as Harry had said, it hurts him to read those comments questioning his professionalism. As a former Spurs striker, you're not questioning his professionalism because you do think that he's telling the truth in this situation, right?
Absolutely, because there's no reason for Harry Kane not saying the truth. There's no reason for him. There's nothing to gain for him to say, okay, I should have come in a couple of days later or whenever. No, the fact is, he was expected to be there tomorrow, Saturday. Back in training, and he presents himself tomorrow back in training. I spoke to a lot of people at Tottenham, former teammates of mine as well. And what really makes me sad is that there is a zero communication between Harry Kane and the owner. And then obviously then the general manager Paratici and the coaching staff. Here we're talking about a player that the last 10 years gave everything, but absolutely everything for his club. And brought them all the way to the Champions League final and delivered every single year. And why should he now come up and make up something because of a couple of days earlier or later? That makes no sense at all. So I can really only hope that both sides get on a table as soon as possible, have a cup of coffee and talk things out. Because if they don't talk things out quickly, and I really admire it actually in Harry Kane's situation, he has his own brother representing him as an agent. He doesn't have one of these super agents that want 30% of the deal. No, it's his own brother basically sitting with you on the table and discussing the future. And if there was a gentleman agreement between Harry Kane and Daniel Levy that he could leave in certain situations the club, then I totally believe that Harry Kane. So they need to get together. They need to sit down and they need to talk it out, but as soon as possible, because if every day they lose on this whole thing, they're both losing. So it's a lose-lose situation right now. So I hopefully they can clean it all up as quickly as possible.
On the same token, though, Jurgen, did his brother make a mistake in not putting a release clause in a long contract like that?
Well, maybe, they think they have a release clause because they have a gentleman's agreement. They have their word. Years ago, Stevie and Frank, they know that, a handshake deal with an owner was a contract. It was totally a contract. Nowadays, there are legal departments battling it out, and everybody needs to be in writing. So I think that if Harry Kane had that guarantee from Daniel Levy and say, in these circumstances, you are allowed to leave the club because of what you've done for the club for 10 years, then I think, you as a player, as a young person, you believe that gentleman. But it all changed a couple of months ago with the Superliga approach from these 12 owners that basically wanted to create their own league, and were lying to all of their coaching staffs and all of their players. And now you have in the industry, you have a huge mistrust. There's a huge mistrust between owners and then the coaching staffs and the players. And in the middle of all these are agents that fill up their pockets. So it is a very tricky situation, the Harry Kane situation, and I just only hope that they figure out a way, hop in a cab, in London, meet us somewhere, behind closed doors, and find a solution.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.